his life is just so complex too.
Right.
I've seen a saying too, like when blacks was being colonized, and what in East Africa 2 million years ago was like the first, what they say, the first beings to be born, and it was black people,
Yeah.
of course, in East Africa, and when the other people came to colonize us, like the Europeans and stuff, it was almost like they said it was a set out plan, like over 1,000 year plan, to where they knew where black people was going to be, like right now, like the position they was going to be in right now.
Right.
And it even bleeds into Republicans and Democrats. Democrats was it was started off as like the KKK. It was started off as the KKK. It separated a lot of families and homes because of the whole welfare system. You got to do the research, so
it's out there.
It's out there. So in certain ways, and then now I see black people like running towards Democrats all the time, Democrats, and then they gave us a black president. We had Barack Obama. Now we having Joe Biden, but like it's just the whole Democrat Party. It was supposed to like keep us enslaved in a way. Like if you really do your research on it, it's supposed to keep us like in a certain position.
Yeah, I've always wondered that, because I don't even understand how, like, black people in general, right? So we're 13% of the population, right? So if we're only 13% of American population, where like we have that much impact out of 300 million people, like why it's always in history, like why is all these black people just getting enslaved like this? Like what is going on? Well, what is it? Not even to be racist or anything. Like what is it about us that like people just flock to or just want to enslave?
It was a strategy since like the beginning of time, to where I did a lot of reading on black people and how we're definitely more connected to the earth. Like we're nature wise, our skin, our melanin is like it's really rich. It's like a rich thing to have, to where people literally get their skin darkened sometimes and stuff like that. So it just made me think like, okay, that in any way that we can oppress these people, because I don't know what happened in the beginning of time. Like nobody really has that information, but like we have so much rich culture. Like going to Africa, like the sacred dances that they do, and just different traditions that they do, because they're so culture based. In these traditions and these things, like it set off a certain energy to where it's actually real. I was watching a documentary on black people like dancing and chanting
music,
different
like
stuff,
frequencies and stuff,
to heal a person
music.
That said that claimed they had like a demon in them and demon possessed in them, and it's just really to have an open mind about it. And I'm like thinking like, man, like we're probably so connected to the earth and what the Europeans and stuff like that, white people since beginning time, they was literally trying to just oppress us, just to make us feel less than ourselves.
It's like manipulation.
Manipulation. And even if you don't feel less than yourself, they'll still throw materialistic things in your face to where, oh, I can't have this car, I can't have these pair of shoes, I'm worthless now.
That's just society too. I don't know, but I don't even want, from what you're saying, I don't want it to sound like we're being racist or anything, because it's not like, if you're white and you get offended by this, like, then you're literally racist. You're the problem. Like, it's not like that. But back to what you were saying, like how black people are like connected to the earth, cause that's crazy, because you can make a connection. Like, our skins don't peel when we stay out in the sun that long. If you look at trees and look at this, like how black people's hair is made like how black hair is, and look at tree branches, it's like kind of grows very similar too. I could totally see why you can make that connection, how we're connected to the earth. That's actually that's really cool too.
It
but
is.
Man, it don't even fascinate me. It's just, I don't understand why we've been just manipulated so bad.
Yeah.
It's just for years. Like, it's still happening. Now it's just at a broader scale. It's not just black people, but like,
And it's all across the country too. Like I see all type of things where across the country, like, you know, still in Africa, like, well, back in the day in Africa, like South Africa, where there was still where there was still segregation, you know, where black, like the darker people, even in Brazil and in different places that have like a darker skin, it's
Yeah.
always like they're treated less than other
Yeah.
people just because of the programming that's been going on through time, and just saying like, okay, you know, we were slaves and things like that, and already just putting us like we're just like animals in a way, you know. And
Man, that's got to be a mental illness. Like, racism has to be a mental illness. Like, you don't like somebody, or you want to do something to somebody because their skin is darker than yours. Like, it got to be mental. Like, I wish all these people that's coming after Kanye and all that, I wish that they would show this same effort to all these racist people. Because, like, that's why, like, really think about it. My skin, just because it's a different shade than yours, and you hate me because of that. Like, man, are we man.
it's literally trying, and that's why that third dimensional, fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional video that we had was so important, because we have to stop looking at the yes or no, or the right or wrong, or the black and white. We have to shift, like, you know, our consciousness, where the skin, like our skin color, like what we see through our eyes isn't really. It's really it's not supposed to control you.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to control you in a way, like being slaves and stuff like that. People are slaves to their opinions. People are slaves to what they say so they believe in, or how you treat other people and stuff like that. But it goes like in a full circle and stuff. And, you know, and like I said in the last video, you know, referring to the last video, like how we've been oppressed since the beginning of time. Like, now it's like programmed in our minds to treat our race like we're less than. But I'm not gonna lie, getting on the brighter side, more optimistic side, like black people are really, we're really progressing towards something, you know, collectively. Like, we're progressing towards something. Like, I love how Kanye will almost in a way not bash our community at all, like at all. He doesn't, you know, some of the things, you know, you literally have to do your research on and stuff. But, you know, we have to be accountable for the things we do also. So he's saying, all right, Harriet Tubman, you know, didn't really free the slaves,
Right.
you know. So I mean, we got free from picking cotton.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, mentally and stuff like that probably destroyed us. And it was it's a lot of things on where how scientists would say, like, these traumatic things and stuff like that, it would get carried on in our DNA.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. It was like we definitely we're gonna link that in the description. It was I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like a psychological hereditary or something like that, but yeah, it's literally linked in DNA. Like, you got like past trauma or something like that.
Yeah, and it's linked in your DNA, like trauma, stress, all these things. And that's why I said, like, some people are still trying to build off of, you know, their ancestors. Like, they're still trying to accumulate some type of a better income from their ancestors, because their ancestors started off with nothing. You know, we got freed, and we had to start off with nothing. So now we're more in the entertainment business. You know, now we do these things, like, since the beginning of time, like, not the beginning of time, but during, like, the Harlem Renaissance, where it was like a overflow of just talented black people singing, dancing, doing all these different things, just to show in a way that, yo, like, I'm more special than, you know, just my race.
Right.
And it should really just be like that, you know, like, to where, you know, we need to come together as people to where, like the race doesn't matter anymore. We have to flee away from it. We have to flee away from, like, the enslavement. Like, it doesn't really matter anymore. And in that process of, like, the enslavement and stuff like that, that's like keeping our minds back. And then they even teach us in school. Like, I remember being first taught in school about the segregation, you know, Martin Luther
Yeah.
King and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of programmed in my mind to where I didn't even want to sit by white people. Like I'm doing all this research about, you know, my black race and how they was oppressed and stuff like that, because that's what they teach you. They don't teach you about the black kings and queens since the beginning of time that we had in Africa and things like that, and how we're connected to the earth. They don't teach us those things, you know. They teach us how we've been oppressed. So all right, so that's being programmed in our minds to where, okay, we've been oppressed, so it's almost like keeping us enslaved in our minds.
Man,
you know,
slavery.
And it's not intentional. It's like real subtle how
Subconscious slavery.
how they subconsciously put in our head, like, then eventually y'all got freed and Martin Luther King came along and Malcolm X came along, but they don't teach us about our, like, the rich black culture. You know, we don't hear that a lot.
Yeah, all these, in the history book, that's school. School is a big program. Most people know that, but like, yeah, you go in the history books, we're just learning about Christopher Columbus and all these presidents, and like none of these people, like, that's nothing like it has to do with black people. Most of the black people, they just do MLK, Malcolm X, the civil rights movement ended in 1964. Like, they don't even dive deep. It's just like a segment, small segment, where it's just like surface level. They don't go deep like how they go deep into these European, all these like stuff that doesn't even like pertain to black people. And like, I could see how a black kid would want to know. Like, they won't know growing up into this. It's not meant for black people. It's just not. Like, it's just not what we need. I don't know how we're gonna break free. I'm glad we're making steps to break free. But I think we all, like, everybody, just do a chance to open your mind about something, because that shift, I keep saying it, the shift is happening. And before it gets too late, like, like I said, man, a lot of people ain't gonna be thinking for themselves. It's finna get worse before it get better. And we got the chance right now to change that.